When a disaster hits the head, being harmed by someone, what is the first thought that comes to your mind? For many people, it will be the desire to take revenge and punish those who put them in that difficult position. But will it be worth the price? The K-drama industry is famous for its romantic, sweet, and melodramas. Among that, revenge melodramas have always occupied the throne when it comes to providing alluring stories. Nothing beats the satisfaction of watching a protagonist getting sweet vengeance after falling prey to devious relatives, cheating husbands, or the corrupt 1%. Whether you've experienced similar obstacles in real life or not, these types of shows always work to satiate our thirst for justice. Not only that, the films of this land of kimchi also brought tears to the audience's eyes because of many touching stories. So in this video, I'll show you the list of 10 best revenge-themed Korean dramas. Before we go, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to see more content like this. Number 10, The Innocent Man, 2012. IMDb rating 7.7 out of 10. Watch on Netflix, View. Opening in the list today is The Innocent Man. In order to stop his childhood lover Ji-hee, played by Park Se-yeon, from going to prison, Kang Ma-ru, played by Sung Joon-ki, decides to take the blame instead and turns himself into the police.
오빠가 약속 못 지켜서.
Meanwhile, Ji-hee betrays him and marries the owner of a big company. After 5 years, Ma-ru gets out of jail and becomes a bartender, having no other options left to survive and take care of his family. One day, he meets a young woman named So-eun-gi, played by Moon Se-won, and saves her life. Coincidentally, it turns out that Ji-hee is her stepmother. The whole situation gets even more complicated when Kang Ma-ru decides to take revenge and So-eun-gi falls in love with him. As the drama though was released a long time ago, this drama still has a certain number of fans. Rugel is a sci-fi action drama filled with heart-stopping scenes. With arresting sci-fi elements combined with thrilling action, its complexity kept the viewers on their toes the whole time. Kang Ki-bum is an elite and upright cop trying to bring down the most powerful crime syndicate, Argos. One day he comes home to find several men en masse. He discovers his wife's blood-soaked body stabbed to death and lying helplessly on the floor. When he was trying to confront the culprits, his eyes were mercilessly gouged out. He wakes up and finds himself in a hospital, accused of his wife's murder. With fate and law blinded by the truth, he becomes the culprit of a crime he never committed. It changed his life, eventually birthing to wrath, guilt, and vengeance. The NIS then approaches Kang Ki-bum and gives him a special pair of eyes through an operation. He is eventually recruited as a member of Rugel, a special team organized by the NIS. Through the help of biotechnology and his special teammates, defeating the organization is within reach, even with Argos having the police under its thumb. Among its fast-moving plot, incredible action stunts, and attempt in combining sci-fi with action, Rugel offered high-strung experiences throughout its course. There's an overwhelming race of emotions right from the beginning, from anger, grief, disturbance, to a glimmer of hope, where one cannot help but root for the characters. Number 8, Tempted, 2018. IMDb rating 8 out of 10. Watch on Netflix. Tempted has the genres of romance and melodrama with slight thriller elements that narrate the story of 3 childhood best friends named Choi Soo-ji, Kwon Si-hun, and Lee Se-ju. The 3 of them come from wealthy families and are known as troublemakers in their school and are fond of revenge. When they enter college, Soo-ji wants revenge on her ex-boyfriend, Lee Ki-young, who once humiliated her. She plans to use Yoon Tae-hee as revenge since she was Lee Ki-young's first love. Yoon Tae-hee is known as a cheerful person who doesn't believe in love. The revenge plan was Shi-yeon would act as though he had a crush on Tae-hee and eventually dump her. However, the plan wasn't as easy as they thought since Shi-hun and Tae-hee fall for each other. The situation gets worse when Tae-hee finds about the plan between the trio, how Ki-young wanted vengeance, and their involved feelings. Number 7, Lawless Lawyer, 2018. IMDb rating 7.6 out of 10. Watch on Netflix, View, iQIYI. After spending 18 years in Seoul biding his time, Bong Se-pil, played by Lee Joon-gi, returns to Gi-sung, the place he spent as a child with his working mother. It is also where he last saw his mother alive. Sung-pil barely escaped with his life and went to live with his gangland boss uncle, played by An Young-sang. As soon as the stars align, when a series of circumstances come into play, Sung-pil immediately heads back to his hometown in readiness to execute a scheme to take down those who are responsible for his mother's death. One event includes the suspension and sacking of another lawyer, the hot-headed Hae Jae, played by Seo Ye-ji. Although it isn't immediately apparent, he'd been observing her for a while, and eventually she becomes embroiled in his big revenge plot. Lawless Lawyer is a slick drama with a solid story, and it's an intense ride that provides thrills, action, humor, and romance. That's quite a nice combination to make for an overall exciting and enjoyable watch. Number 6, Dr. Prisoner 2019. IMDb rating 7.6 out of 10. Watch on Netflix and View. Rallied by a brilliant male-dominated cast, Dr. Prisoner has moved to exchanges of plots and deceptions that keeps you high with thrills. Providing equally engrossing textures of protagonists and anti-heroes, the series expertly constructs its vengeance-driven story. Nea Jae, played by Nam Gung-min, formerly an emergency specialist and surgeon at Taking Hospital, was falsely accused of medical malpractice and served out a 3-year prison sentence where he cultivated key relationships and began hatching a revenge scheme against those who put him there. Or so it seems. But as the story unfolds, it is not entirely certain that revenge is all he's after. The good doctor apparently has bigger fish to fry. Using his medical skills, mental acuity, and a knack of thinking on his feet, Naje sets his sights on being the medical director of one of the largest penitentiaries in Seoul. Number 5, The World of the Married 2020. IMDb rating 8 out of 10. Watch on Netflix and View. Everything seems perfect in the life of the successful family doctor and associate director, Ji Sun-woo. She lives happily in Gosan with her handsome husband, Lee Tae-oh, whom she financially helped establish an entertainment company, and their teenage son, Jun-young. However, the perfect image of a happy, loving family life shatters when she discovers that her husband is having an affair, and even their mutual friends are helping him conceal it. Devastated by the betrayal, she sets on a path of seeking vengeance and recollecting her broken self. The World of the Married was something confounding. Other times it was saddening, and there were times when it was extremely frustrating. Nonetheless, it was a highly satisfactory watch and worth all the attention. Number 4, The Devil Judge 2021. IMDb rating 8.3 out of 10. Watch on Netflix and View. The Devil Judge is about a post-pandemic South Korea. Everything is disarray and there's general discontent and a chaos among the citizens. Trials are held through a courtroom live show, headed by Judge Kang Yo, played by Ji Sung. But at his side are 2 other judges, Judge Kim Yeon, played by Jin Young, and Judge Oh Jin-ju. Judge Kang's way of ensuring that justice is served is getting the people to vote guilty or not guilty via an app. He also has a creative way of meting out punishment. This makes the courtroom live show and Jung Kang very popular among the people, something that displeases the higher-ups like the president. Judge Kang starts going after powerful and influential people. He can't be bribed, and so the powers that do everything they can to pull the plug on the courtroom live show. Soon, Judge Kang and Judge Kim realize that there are more forces in play than what everyone is led to believe. The president himself is covering up something big, and they need to do something about it. A unique plot, a good pace, and praise with the performances from the cast make this series worth checking out. Number 3, Itaewon Class 2020. IMDb rating 8.2 out of 10. Watch on Netflix. An earnest underdog story with lots of heart, Itaewon Class feels like a breath of fresh air for a good part of its run. We start the drama off following the youth memories of Park So-ryo, played by Park So-joon. His father is killed when he was a teenager by a CEO's son who was driving and hit him. Infuriated by this, Saro-yi brutally attacks his son, who is also his classmate, and thus ends up in jail for 3 years. Once he's out, he chooses to open up his own restaurant and bar in Itaewon that initially doesn't do so well. Cue newcomer Kim Dae-mi as Jo Si-yo, a brilliant girl who happens to be social media famous. She becomes the manager of the restaurant and propels it to new levels. But this is only the beginning of Seo-yu's plans to destroy the company whose son killed his father. Even though the backstory hinges on the idea of revenge, this always feels more like a story of an underdog trying to make good, while collecting a found family along the way. In particular, I really appreciate the diversity that Itaewon Class embraces in the course of people in our drama world. I don't think I've seen the same degree of diversity in other drama to date. Number 2, My Name 2021. IMDb rating 7.8 out of 10. Watch on Netflix. Earlier this year, Han So-yi starred in the K-drama Nevertheless, where she played a college-goer caught in a turbulent relationship, confused about life and love. However, in the recent Netflix release, My Name, So-hee makes you forget she ever was the young, delicate student from the previous show. The story here revolves around a young woman named Ju, who witnesses her father Dong-hoon being brutally murdered, shot at point-blank range outside their apartment. With rumors that the police are involved in a late-night snoop from Captain Cha backing that claim up, Ji-woo remains desperate for answers. Those answers seem to come from Dong-hoo's friend and work colleague Moo-jin. Moo-jin is the head of a criminal empire, with Dong-hoo actually on the list of most wanted across Korea. So Mujin takes Jubu under his wing and starts to train her up to be tough enough to hit back against those responsible for killing her dad. It's a simple story in truth, but one with a good number of twists and turns along the way. Despite being pretty predictable, with the last gap reveal you'll likely figure out by the end of episode 3. This 8-chapter thriller does well to keep things watchable until the very end. Number 1, Vincenzo 2021. IMDb rating 8.4 out of 10. Watch on Netflix. An Italian mafia consigliere who returns to his motherland for his secret retirement fund faces an unexpected situation. However, he has to walk on the path of upholding his ideals while dealing with a system that throttles the weak. He meets distrustful tenants and lawyer Hong Yushan, who become the cause of his extended trip. Now he fights for the rights of the tenants while trying to offer them a deal of settling down at a better place, only to result in their suspicion, and them finding out about the gold hidden in the building. In the end, Vincenzo not only has to deal with these tenants who are searching for his gold, but also against the bigger evils in society. Here comes the Babel group, which repeatedly faces trouble because of Vincenzo, leading to them trying to harm every chance they get. The drama pits villains against villains in a world where justice does not exist and the law is not enough. The plot and the pacing of Vincenzo has always been a good blend of filler, drama, and action, which is truly a fresh breath of air in the genre of K-dramas. A story about an Italian mafia who comes to his homeland Korea definitely doesn't tick all the right boxes in terms of realism, but somehow the drama and the excellent characters of the show make up for it big time. It is a kind of drama which knows its boundaries and doesn't take itself that seriously. So when we see these insane twists and turns taking place, it feels right at home. And that is a list of films on the topic of revenge I think are worth watching. If I missed any movie, leave it in the comment section for everyone to know. If you find this video good, don't forget to leave a like button. If this is the first time you come to this channel, click the subscribe button to not miss the video next time. Goodbye and see you again.